Hi Shredettes, I'm your coach Hillary Hall and welcome to Shred Your Muscle 2.0. All right, today is our second leg day of the week. You'll notice that this is a little less glute focused and a lot more on the quads and the hamstrings. And continuing on with our phase 1 format, which is 3 sets, 30 seconds of rest between sets and a minute of rest between exercises. Today's workout, you're gonna need your mat, your dumbbells, a Swiss ball, your band with an anchor. I have it set to the mid height, which, just a review, there's the high point, which is the top of the door, the midpoint, which is about where I guess your door handle would be, and then the low anchor would be considered underneath the door. Most bands come with a door anchor. If you don't have one, they're very affordable. You can find them at your local athletic store, and I have them linked in my Amazon cart as well. The cherry on top of this workout is going to be a jump rope Tabata. If you don't have a jump rope, that's okay. You can jump in place. I will give you a modification to do instead. All right, I'm ready to get into this. Are you? Let's go. With our band anchored to the midpoint, we're going to hold the band in our right hand while we step back with our right leg into a reverse lunge. As you drive yourself forward, we're going to lift the knee up in front of us using our abs to contract and pull that knee up as high as we possibly can. Above the belly button is the goal, and simultaneously do a row with the right arm. So we're working the upper back, we're working our left leg. You should really feel this in the left glute. Now, no leg workout is complete without doing some sort of a leg and glute exercise. So we are hitting the glutes before we hit the quads and the hamstrings. My left arm is out for balance, and we will switch legs after 15 reps. Feel free to use the stabilizing arm as support by holding on to an object close to you. with the reverse Nordics, start kneeling on a soft surface with your knees hip-width apart, toes pointed straight behind you, and torso upright. Cross your arms in front of you, or you can keep them down by your side. I have them straight out in front of me. That's also an option. Keeping your hips extended and your body in a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. Lean your torso back slowly. Do not bend at the hips. Your body should remain rigid like a plank. Go back as far as you can while maintaining control and keeping your thighs and torso aligned. Squeeze your quads to bring your body back up to the starting position.
Get any higher.
If this exercise is causing you any sort of knee pain, consider tucking your toes under and trying it this way. Get any higher. Our third option in doing the reverse Nordics is trying it like this. With your feet flat, we're going to lean back as far as we can, and then we're going to take a seat until we can't hold it any longer. We're going to stretch back and then take a seat, return to starting position. Lean back as far as you can, take a seat, return to starting position. Try this movement if the others are giving you any kind of pain or discomfort. To better target your quads in a straddle squat, hinge your torso slightly forward as you descend, keeping your back flat and knees tracking over your toes. This forward lean shifts the load off your hips and deeper into your quads, helping you feel the burn right where you want it. For the heels elevated hack squat, we're going to start with our heels elevated with dumbbells. Now I have them curved just slightly so that they're almost in a half circle position. I'm going to take my heels, place them up, knees and toes facing directly forward with my hands down by my side. I'm starting upright and then squatting straight down, keeping the dumbbells right in line with my legs. Elevating your heels shifts your center of gravity, allowing your knees to travel forward and load the quads more effectively with each rep. focus to your hamstrings during the RDL, hinge at your hips with a slight bend in your knees, pushing your hips back while keeping your spine long. Lower the weights until you feel a deep stretch in your hamstrings, then squeeze through the back of your legs to return to standing. Swiss ball curls focus on strengthening the hamstring, glutes, and core through knee flexion and stability. As you curl the ball towards your glutes, keep your hips lifted to maximize hamstring engagement while also challenging your balance and core control. In order to get your hips really high, think about getting all your body weight up on your shoulders with every rep. As my legs extend out, my hips fall slightly, but as I pull the ball towards my glutes, you'll notice that I'm lifting my hips even higher. That is how you get the maximum engagement. Leg Prisoner deadlifts target the hamstring, glutes, and core while also improving balance and coordination. Keeping your hands behind your head forces you to engage your posterior chain and core more deeply as you hinge at the hips and control the movement on one leg. Feel free to use something stable near you to hold on to for balance. have 2 exercises in our Tabata today. First exercise is going to be jump rope doubles, jumping with both feet at the same time. And the second exercise is singles, where you're alternating the feet. If you don't have a jump rope, that's okay. You can just jump in place and pretend that you have a jump rope in your hands. I will show you an example in our second set.